Yo, 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 what is going on, RoK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we're actually going to be touching on finally me being able to run a rock poll. And I'm really excited to start doing more of these because I think these are great ways to get kind of sample size pools of insight into some of what I would argue are probably the most important topics and questions that players just need to hear because no one really talks about these things. And they are arguably some of, if not the most important pieces of information that players need to hear in order to primarily have a better day-to-day experience slash gaming experience while playing Rise of Kingdoms. So before we get started, as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell, and of course, if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description down below. Casual mode. Gotta always get that agua. Okay, so today we ended up running a poll, and I'll show you this here in a moment. So we ran this poll on my Discord, and of course, if you're interested, you guys can always join and just kind of, you basically just go up here to the reaction roles, and then you just hit Rise of Kingdoms there, and it'll give you access to the RoK section. But this is the first poll that we ran. We run these polls for 24 hours, and I ran this poll, and my question was, what is the most important trait an R5 can have in RoK? And I gave an example of some. We also allowed for an other vote. The cool thing about running Poll Master is that players get DMs from the bot when they react, and they can leave a piece of feedback, right? They can leave a response. So from this, we had a couple options here. We had power, strongest player, communication, PvP expert, diplomacy expert, availability, problem solving, managing, recruiting, other. So you can see here from the poll that communication had won this vote for the most amount of people that thought this was the most important trait. We had the second place here, which was managing, and then we had third for problem solving, then availability and diplomacy expert, right, kind of rolled in. If we go, we can actually see here from the bot kind of how it works, right? So you can see, all the answers are anonymous, and which is awesome. And you can see here, and unless people leave their name, right, to tag. But you can see someone gave a example here. I'm going to read some of these because I know that's what I said in the announcement. So someone here who put communication that they felt was the most important said, I think communication is the most important because it doesn't help when you are strong, but you can't talk to your officers. Even if the R5 had all the other traits, it would be no good if they had terrible communication with their alliance and allies. An R5 job is to lead people, not leading themselves. Without communication, no one will be aware of what the plan / goal is in a given moment. An R5 must be able to give commands while in a fight. Without these commands, the alliance will become disorganized to the point of destruction. There is many reasons communication is key to an alliance success, but here's just a few. Thank you, kind anonymous stranger. Then we had, I think, two more here. One who responded with problem solving said it's crucial for the leader to know his people so he can solve problems when they arise. Okay, I definitely think that's equally important. This individual said managing. And they said, RoK is made up for such diverse pool of players from different backgrounds, culture, worldviews. And R5 needs to be able to navigate all of them and learn how to manage all of those different styles in a way that is best for the alliance as a whole, and not just for himself, or herself, or a few select persons, or people. I actually think this is another good explanation. So, let me break down a little bit on how I view what I consider to be the most important trait for a leader, just above all else. And yes, a lot of these traits are good. You could make an argument that a leader should have all of these traits, maybe with the exception of some, right? Personally, I'll never believe that the leader has to be the strongest or the most powerful player in the kingdom. But as I said, many of these, I believe, can be characteristics that a leader can have. However, the one characteristic that I believe every leader should have in the game is quite simply availability. If you are not available, you cannot do anything. You can't communicate with anyone. You can't show your expertise in a given field or area. You can't problem solve. You can't manage. You can't recruit. You can't dissolve conflict or resolve conflict. You can't do anything, right? Because you're not present. And this kind of leads into a bigger thing, and we'll probably end up doing a poll on this as well. But it then kind of comes to, what's the most important thing that a leader really should be doing? One of my good buddies, Ghost, who has always been to me, a great friend, a brother, if you will, and him and I just saw eye to eye on so many things in RoK, but more so just in Kingdom Builders in general. I have another really good friend. Shout out to my buddy Shadow 9000. He's another person that I could spend hours talking to, days talking to about kingdom building, and I have. And when you find people that really are kind of on your wavelength and they see things in a very similar light that you do, like to the point of where it's elevated just kind of basic casual talk about the game, right? And it's really gone to like this upper echelon of just what I would argue just to be intellectual thinking, right? And conversating. It's such a fun time. I can say that. But getting back to my point on availability is that you need to be available. And the availability comes from your real life availability, right? How much time do you actually have that you can put into the game? Because it kind of goes right back around to, as you saw from the results, there's a lot of important characteristics and traits that a leader should have. But in order to actually enact those traits, to deliver those traits, to show those traits and characteristics off, you have to be available. And it kind of takes this topic to another level in that your availability is purely dependent on you making yourself available to actually manage, whether that's managing the alliance, managing the kingdom, managing a group of alliances. Your availability is what allows for that to happen. If you are not focusing your availability on that area, then, the value of your availability is just going down, right? If you're spending your available time, for example, playing, right, or leveling up your account, that's taking time away from managing the alliance and managing the kingdom, taking care of tasks. And the only thing that can actually alleviate, there's really only one thing that can alleviate that, to make your availability more expansive, more worthwhile, right, as far as what you can do as an individual for a leader, is if you have an abundance of help, or you just have help in general, meaning that people are volunteering, they're contributing, they're signing up to assist and take on tasks and roles. That's the only thing that's ever going to lighten a leader's load. But that is why I feel that the most important trait is availability. Because without being available, and if you're never there, then you can't do any of these other things. So that's my take on it. My thoughts, my reasonings, my explanation. I would love to know yours. If you're someone that partook in this poll, if you're someone who didn't, but maybe you're looking forward to participating in the next one, join the Discord. If you have a different view and a different opinion than mine on what you think is the most important trait for a leader to have, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in those comments below, and I love to read everything, right, no matter how long it may take me. And yeah. So again, had fun with this one. This was a really cool topic. I was happy to get the amount of responses that we did and be able to read and share some of those responses that those of you who took the time to write those did. And hopefully when we keep doing some more polls, we get more responses next time, and I can read a few more than just 3. But great. I thought it was great because we had one in each, one for different answers, I should say. And yeah, so I'll be looking forward to future. And again, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, that is it for me. Until next time, I'll catch you later.